Hey everybody, welcome back. This is week 2 of my weekly comic book reviews. Gonna jump right into it. I bought 4 comics this week. The first one I got was Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man number 312. This is another tie-in to the Spider-Geddon event. This is a really good issue. Right now, Peter Parker from the last issue is still running away from Morlun, the inheritor vampire, who has a death vendetta to get at Peter Parker for all the wrong he's done in the past towards him. They fought 3 times, which they mentioned several times in this issue. Miles Morales makes a appearance in this, but Peter Parker's a little hesitant for having him help him fight Morlun because he feels that his talents as a leader will be better off fighting the larger inheritor family with all the other spider heroes from all the different universes from the multiverse. The artwork's really good. The writing's really good. I'm definitely going to keep following this series. It's a spider book. You can't go wrong with spider books. That's the first one I got. Very nice. And then I have the second one I got was another tie-in to the Spider event called the Vault of Spiders. Now this one, along with the Vault of Spiders 1, it's really kind of an interesting thing they do. They're going tale by tale, showing all these different types of Spider-Man throughout all the different universes. Some of the times, some of the Peter Parkers are different. Sometimes it bites different people. Other than Peter Parker. The one that caught my eye in this particular issue was Spider-Man. It's Aunt May who was bit by the radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker, and she's basically like this old granny spider hero. It's really kind of funny. She fights the Vulture in it, and even amidst having a violent fight with a supervillain, she still finds time to make these grandmotherly advice to whoever she's fighting, or the people. Peter Parker and Uncle Ben are on the radio with her, telling her where to go, where all the action is at, and it's really kind of funny to see like a sweet old lady be a superhero. I'm not saying sweet old ladies can't be superheroes. I just said I've never seen it before until now. And that's what stood out most in this particular issue. Again, it's another tie into the Spider-Geddon event, which you should be reading because it's amazing. That's the second comic I got. Now, here we go. The third comic. My favorites. This is Thor, number 7 by Jason Aaron, who's the writer. Jason Aaron is actually my favorite comic book writer of all time. And it's kind of interesting what's going on in the story currently now about Jason Aaron. Is the first Thor book I actually read was Jason Aaron's Thor, the God of Thunder, the God Butcher, Volume 1. It was about this alien who, well, not to get too much in that, I don't want to review that. I'll review that at some other time. But the reason why I'm mentioning that is because in the previous issue of this one, this is 7, in number 6, it ends with Loki holding the weapon that the God Butcher used in that volume that I was just referring to, and which is actually my favorite Thor book of all time. So I recommend you read that because it'll also help you understand what's going on currently. But this issue doesn't have anything to do with that. I just mentioned that because Thor number 6 kind of ended with that, but this went back and went back into another. One of the things Jason Aaron does is he jumps back and forth from present, past, and future to all the different Thors. For instance, this issue takes place when Thor was a lot younger than he was during the present day, and this was before he was even worthy enough to hold the hammer Mjolnir at first. So this one takes place before he ever picked up the hammer. Jason Aaron does that a lot. He'll jump from there, then to present day Thor, and then he'll jump into the future where Thor actually takes Odin's place as the Allfather and protector of all the realms, which is really kind of cool. And he even, I'll get into that later, but yeah, he even fights people. It's cool to see it jump around, and it does that in the God Butcher also. It makes for good reading. It's really interesting. This particular issue takes place when Thor was a younger Thor, and before he was worthy enough to hold Mjolnir. And basically, Odin is mad at Thor because Thor spends too much time in Midgard, which is planet Earth. And he basically is fighting with Vikings, and he drinks and parties and fights and has all kind of lovers and stuff. And he just lives it up and likes to party in Midgard. I mean, who doesn't? And Loki wants to help Odin for his own dastardly reasons. He always has some kind of trickery going on, but he causes Thor to fall in love with this Viking female named Erica the Red. And Erica and Thor, they have this little dalliance, and they spend a lot of time together, but Odin's like saying, yeah, this isn't working, this is making him want to stay there more. And Loki's like, no, trust me. He'll see how what happens to mortals is like they have temporary lives, whereas immortals live like forever, or at least seemingly forever. But there's an end to even their lives, even though they keep going. But whatever. So Loki causes, or he doesn't cause it. Thor leaves Erica's side because he wants to go intervene into this battle between dark elves and dwarves that goes on. And see, he's a god. He has a different concept of time, so he doesn't think of it as 40 years. But he left Erica for 40 years, and when he came back, there was this old lady who was her descendant, and or a relative or something. And she said, "Oh, she's dead. She passed away. She waited for you for 40 years, and you never came." And he kind of learned like a moral lesson that, and this is what Loki was trying to do, was trying to show him how you have to make the most of your days, and you can't really be, as a god, you can't be attached to Midgard because it's a temporary. The mortals' lives are temporary. And you'll read it more for yourself and get your own conclusions about it. But the artwork is beautiful. It's very well written. It's almost like a little standalone issue. It's kind of like a little short story. It kind of stands alone. We'll see how it ties into more, because it talks. I won't give away the end, but basically I did already give away the end. But yeah, this is a good issue. I really liked it. Really enjoyed it. If you're not reading Thor, you should be reading Thor. Okay, I saved this one for last, the fourth comic I got, because there's a few things I want to say about it. It's it's Uncanny X-Men #1. This is a really thick comic book. There's a lot of pages. It's basically like 2.5 comics mixed into one. And it's really, really interesting. It's very well drawn. There's a few artists throughout the little story arcs going on, and it's really interesting because somebody had captured Kitty Pryde, who is Shadowcat, who is currently the leader of Uncanny X-Men, and which is weird because Shadowcat has the powers to walk through walls and do all kinds of stuff like that. So it's weird that somebody was able to capture her. But there's another mutant who's extremely powerful that this person had captured, and they're trying to figure out, one, who captured Kitty Pryde, and two, the X-Men, they don't even know who else was captured, who I won't say because I don't want to give spoiler. But it's a very powerful mutant. Let's just put it that way. And there's a lot of little issues going on there. There's a lot of it has more X-Men than just on the cover, but we got like Bishop, Psylocke, who has a really cool costume in this one. I don't know if you can see it. If not, buy it and then you can see it. Jean, Storm, X-23, my personal favorite, Jubilee, Beast, Iceman, Cannonball, Nightcrawler, and then there's Armor, Glob, and there's a few others in there that they don't have on the cover, but this is really good. One of the things I wanted to say is I was really confused because I saw in some of the other comics I bought that December #4 comes out, and I was like, wait, is this like a reprint that I missed that I got back? And then I was like looking around, and I was like, well, did I miss 2 and 3, or are number 2 and 3 going to come out, like, or are they already out, or are they going to come out? But no, this is a 10-week event there's every week, starting this week, there's going to be the next one for 10 weeks. So number 2 comes out literally next Wednesday. Number 3 comes out the following Wednesday after that. And they're going to do that for 10 weeks. And that's when this story called X-Men Disassembled is a 10-part series. I really recommend getting it. And if you are interested in getting it, get it now, because number 2 is like a week away. So this is going to be coming out. So I really recommend reading those. Well, that's kind of short and sweet. That's the way I see it. That's my video for now. I wanted to say one more thing is kind of unfortunate news. I'm sure most of you have already probably seen on the news and TV and stuff, but this week Stan Lee had passed away, and I just wanted to say that when I was a kid, I got into Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and X-Men and a lot of the things he created and co-created with Jack Kirby and others. I just wanted to say that he had an impact on me and most everybody throughout the entire world. Everybody knows Marvel Comics, and he was Stan the Man Lee. He was 95 years old. They said he passed away on the way to the hospital during the ER, and I just wanted to say rest in peace, Stan Lee. You will always be remembered, and you are a great guy, man. Thanks for your contribution to comics and pop culture. You will be missed. Again, that's my second video. Join me same time next week, same day, same time, for next week's comic list. And thank you for watching. All right. Have a good one. See you.